Hello everyone, it's Jayden for Student Pages. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent once again. Today we are joined by the award-winning British filmmaker Joey Leather. How's it going?
Very well, man. How are you?
I am excellent, Joey. So obviously we are here to talk a little bit about Littlefoot, which is your upcoming movie that so many people are excited for because it means so much to so many people. But before we get into that, I do want to just scale back a little bit and ask, what drew you to filmmaking in general? Can you sort of explain the process you use as to how you create a visual story arc for your film?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I just love storytelling. Storytelling has always been the forefront of my mind ever since I was a kid. I used to draw comic books. I used to write little books. I used to study art. Like anywhere I can tell stories, I was there. And just in school, I just fell in love with the art of filmmaking. I fell in love with the art of storytelling in films. How one story can one day make you hate someone, the next day make you love someone. Like I think just the idea of that visual storytelling has always been at the forefront of my mind, and that's how I got into filmmaking, 100%.
Yeah, just having that real passion. Yeah, that's obviously like the most important thing, isn't it? And I was saying before we actually started the interview that you do a little bit of everything. So, I mean, do you have sort of a story as to how you got into each sector, or did it all kind of come at once for you?
I think it's the thing with indie filmmaking, right? Because you're an indie filmmaker, you don't have access to everyone at the right time. So one thing I'm fairly known for is that I need something, I get it done. And in that case, I guess one of the biggest things I do on a film set is I learn every single person's role, right? Just in case anything ever goes wrong, I'll be able to take up the mantle. So like I've done sound design, I've done acting, I've done screenwriting, I've done everything just in case that ever needs to happen. And then obviously with storytelling, there was moments in my career where, everyone was sending me scripts and they just weren't for me. So I wrote them myself. And then I'm like, okay, well this is more for me now. Like I think that's the most important thing there. It's just when you're an indie filmmaker, you don't have the sometimes you don't have the luxury or choice of having that certain thing done. So you just do it. That's basically the answer there. I just do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I respect that, and honestly, yeah, you're so right. If you want something done, in the current media landscape that we're in, it's like, yeah. But honestly, it's so impressive that you managed to sort of like, as I say, develop all these skills along the way. It's like just massive,
Thank you.
massive props for that. But I mean, yeah. So Littlefoot, it's based on The Land Before Time. Obviously, a story that means so much to so many people. How did that project come about? What drew you to take that on?
Well, it's a complicated answer, mainly because I've always been in love with the Land Before Time ever since I was a kid. Like I remember like my earliest age of like 8, going to my nan's house, seeing the VHS there, and just falling in love with the story, the animation style, the art, the directing, the silent moments in the film, the big impacts that really, like, as a kid, it kind of wakes you up a bit. And it's like, hey, whoa, wait, this is hard, this is heart pumping. And obviously, like most of the films for kids back then, weren't really, teaching you that hard of a lesson, even though they were like from nowadays with cartoons like take away Bluey for a minute, like Peppa Pig and all that kind of stuff. They always told you like on the surface kind of teachings, whereas cartoons like Bluey really like solidify. Hey, there's a little bit of nuance in the world, and that's where my love for Land Before Time came from because it was the first film that made me realize that there is hurt in the world and it teaches you how to deal with it. And again, like, I've loved Land Before Time ever since I was a kid. And I think in the current states of remakes now, I just kind of am a little bit confused to why it's not been remade. Because there's so many films that have been remade nowadays that I just don't understand why. Like, it's hard to explain, but like, there's just some. I know most films don't need to be remade, but there's films that are out now that just really don't need to be remade. And I just feel like Land Before Time is such a fantastic film to teach people how to deal with grief, and there's so many messages in that film that you learn to deal with. I just feel like that's such an important film to watch, and kids nowadays don't want to watch 2D films. And I know that for a fact because I've got a little 8-year-old kid, and he doesn't like 2D films now. So it's just one of the things where it's like, okay, well maybe this is needed, and it's never happened. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a little play, see what I can do, see if people resonate, and they have, which has been incredible.
No, as I say, because obviously it's had, an absolutely incredible reception already, and it's not even out yet. And
Yeah.
it's like the cast. We'll obviously talk a bit about the cast in a moment, but yeah, the cast is obviously incredibly stacked. But I do want to say you're so right about remakes and stuff now. It is crazy because, like you said, there are some being made. I think there's just an argument to be made about medium, isn't there? And that like there's a lot of films that translate to different mediums, and then there's some that don't. And it's like you're so
Yeah,
right. Why are we getting so many that
yeah.
don't need to be there?
I just feel like there's so like I don't want to badmouth anything, but Moana's being remade why?
That came out like less than a decade ago.
Yeah, and it's got the same casting. Like The Rock said, it's like why remake it then? I, there's, it's just I can watch
Get
it on
that
Disney,
back, I
but
guess.
it's just very I don't know. It's just very strange. Like I just feel like there's so many films that do deserve to have that upscale and remake ability and Land Before Time is 100% one of them. Atlantis as well. Atlantis would be such
Mm,
a cool film to be remade. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so
yeah.
many films that do deserve it, I think.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, obviously, if you're remaking something like you are, it's like, your main aim is going to be, how do we translate this, but how do we make it different? So, how did you work with the lead animators on it to sort of achieve the desired visual style?
So the desired visual style has been something that I've been trying to work out for a very long time. If I was ever going to do it, I was going to make sure I do it right, right? So there's obviously pictures like The Lion King, where it was an amazing feat for technology. Like it is genuinely like watching a documentary, right? It is stunning. But also like the emotions of the animals don't always translate well. But then you have like the visual style of like Pixar, who have that incredible emotive look and that kind of beautiful texture. It's kind of like Toy Story 4. So I was like, in a way, trying to blend. My main goal was to blend them both together, where I wanted that realistic texturing, but with that Pixar style animation. Obviously, it's not 100% there, just because personally, I don't think we've got the technology to figure that out. But we've hit a great little visual style more towards the Pixar end, but with more realistic texturing that it took us a very long time to figure out. And it took us a little bit more of like a blending of technology to make it work. And we've got so many incredible light artists and texturers that have made that happen. Like we got a 3D model artist to basically translate the 2D dinosaurs. Like they literally traced the dinosaurs, made sure it works in 3D. Then I took it to my crew member Matthew, who then textured it, made it the texture that we wanted. Then we've got our another crew member Israel, who then does all the lighting, does all the rendering, which then form that final look that we were hoping for. It's not what I 100% wanted, but it's definitely in that. It's definitely like 98% there. I love it.
No, honestly, that's insane. Just the amount of people that must have to come together to that's wild. But again, just another massive feat, isn't it? Really, it's like that is
Well, that's the thing,
incredible.
right? If Universal was doing this, there would probably be like 600, maybe 700 people on the VFX team. We've got like eight, so it's if that like we have one person texturing and probably like five animators. It's not been yeah, it's not like a full-fledged production at all. It is just a few very passionate people putting their heart and soul into something. So I'm very proud of the people we've got to work on it. Every single one of them is incredible.
And again, it doesn't just stop there with the people behind the scenes as well. You've obviously got, like I mentioned before, the cast is absolutely stacked. With
Yeah.
Summer Jules, Larissa Loeffler, Christina Vere. It's crazy. So I mean, how did you sort of get all these amazing, talented people to come aboard?
We're in the new age of filmmaking, right? I think that's one of the main things I'd love to get across because nowadays, all you've really got to do is focus on your craft so much, show passion, show your enthusiasm, keep putting films out there, and all of a sudden you get people wanting to watch what you do. And I'm so lucky in that fact because I've took that as my whole social journey, right? I've made sure that I'm documenting everything, posting everything, showing updates, and in turn, that then gets us followers, that in turn gets us views. And then once we start, promoting a project like this, people start seeing it. And that's exactly what happened with Littlefoot. Whereas all these incredible voice actors, I'd say probably like 40% of the a cast that is in Littlefoot messages just to say, hey, if you need anything, let us know. And at that point, it's kind of like, okay, one, we're doing something right. Two, 100%, thank you. And three, once they're on it, they obviously tell their friends, they get involved. Then once they're involved, we have, I mean, these fantastic, the thing is with this cast, they're like my childhood. So like I'm
Mm.
huge fans. When I was voice recording, when I was like, directing them, in the booth with them, telling them how we wanted the film to be, I was like fanboying inside. I was just like, this is the wildest thing. I'm a huge fan of every single person that's in this. But again, it's social media, man. Like just because we start promoting ourselves, just because we start shouting about ourselves, these amazing people have seen it. I say it all the time, but it's like the internet is the biggest door ever, and you can just kick it down nowadays and enter yourself rather than people emailing you, rather than you waiting for your big break. Just make it, and that's exactly how we've done with Littlefoot. It's just these amazing people are there, these amazing people are interested. Shout about ourselves, and then maybe they'll join, and they just did. It's an amazing opportunity for all of us.
I totally feel that, as I say, when I saw the list of names and stuff and I started recognizing people, I was like, that's crazy. Like, especially with like Jason Griffith, for example. It's like I'm like
Yeah,
massive
that
Sonic
was a
fan.
big one
So
for
my
me. That was a big one.
yeah.
I grew up with Jason Griffith as Sonic. I've even got a Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo here. Like I love Sonic the Hedgehog so much. I recently that's another thing with social media that got nothing to do with filmmaking. I literally posted my Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo. He voice messaged me as Sonic. We just started talking, and then I had a little camera roll from him. I was like, "Hey, Jason, are you free to do this?" And he's like, "Absolutely." The internet's amazing, man. And if you're a filmmaker and if you're a budding filmmaker, that's just talk about your craft, show your passion, and people will listen.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome, that is. And I
Amazing.
mean, yeah, so when you're working with people who obviously have years and years of experience in voice acting, what sort of your approach to directing them? How do you do that? Because I imagine that's going to be overwhelming.
The directing style's fairly similar to how I direct most people, but the difference here is that they like you said they have years of experience, right? So whereas it might take me a few times to get the right voice in like, someone that locally I work with, they they, they, I think they're pros, right? They instantly listen, they terminate what you're saying in their head, and they just do it. And the level of professionalism is incredible. Like I said it in one of my vlogs recently, like working with Mark Meer as the voice of Sarah's dad. Like I just said, okay, whereas like if I was here, it'd be kind of a bit embarrassing by saying it, but like, can you please roar like a triceratops, like a growly voice, really go in your throat? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, bam. And okay, well, take one done. Yeah, it's one take wonder, mate, sorted. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you can kind of just let them do their thing, and it's like it's yeah, that's gonna be so cool to witness. And I mean, what's it like with the editor of the film as well? Sort of what's your collaborative process there of making sure it's cut together the way you want it?
I'm the editor.
Oh well, there you go.
There we
There
go.
you go.
There
I
we
like
go.
like like.
So it's
I,
it's it's a, it's a nightmare, mate.
but you know
Working
what?
with
Like I,
that
I
budding
was listing
editor of
off all the
mine.
things you did for the film. I forgot like one of the main ones. It's like, yeah, of course you are. Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
be?
no, it's one
Oh,
of the things again, man. Like it's hard to find a really good editor, and it's really good. Is again without any budget, right? It's just a hard thing to ask. It's a hard thing to ask everyone anyway. And with editing, I've done editing ever since I was like 11. So I've edited every single film I've ever had. So this would just be the same for me. I love the editing process. It's just a puzzle. You got all of these voices, you got all of these clips, merge it together, and it's just so much easier being your own editor because you know exactly how you want it. You know exactly how it's supposed to be structured. And we're using the storyboards from the original film anyway, so we're just cutting that all together, slapping it all in, and it's a
awesome.
fantastic process. It's I love editing.
No, it's really cool. Out of curiosity, what do you use?
Premiere. I'm using Premiere.
Nice. There we
Adobe
go.
stuff.
There we go.
All Adobe stuff. I do want to move to DaVinci at some point, but right now I've just been on Adobe for a decade now. It's just hard to leave it. I do love Adobe.
I tell everyone that moving to Adobe is the best thing I ever did. I think before that it was Camtasia. I don't know if you, I don't know if you know
No, I never heard of
Camtasia.
Camtasia. No,
Yeah,
no.
that's probably
Get
why
rich.
because it's naff. You don't want to hear about it. But yeah, no, no, totally. That honestly, I mean, as I say, when you sort of got the whole process, mostly to yourself, it's like that's got to be great. And I mean, so looking at the Land Before Time, then, out of curiosity, what's your favorite song from it?
You know what?
Mm,
Obviously, I'm gonna say the original song,
mm.
100%. But I do like eggs. which is in like I think it's in the fourth film or third film. But it was, I think, oh, it might even be the second film. But it was about these two oviraptors who steal eggs and they just love eating eggs. And it's such a good song. That is an absolute banger. If it wasn't that one, probably Big Water. I think it's called Big Water, which is like the fifth film or fourth film. But no, the original. The original is the number one spot for me. That's the best one.
Exit a close second was saying.
Eggs is at a close second.
All right, I respect it. I respect it. So, I mean, what would you say was the most difficult piece to sort of coordinate into the project?
The most difficult piece is 100% fitting the 1 hour 30 film down to a 15-minute short.
Yeah.
100%. Mainly because originally we was gonna just remake. Originally, about 2 years ago, I said, let's remake the scene with Littlefoot's mum and Littlefoot on her deathbed. Just because that resonates so much with me. It's a beautiful scene. We can get some proper like acting chops from it. It's gonna test us with our render abilities, with the sound, the music, the graphics, with the rain, and then obviously grew a little bit once we had the team, and we ended up making a 15-minute short. But the idea of taking 1 hour 30 down to a 15-minute short was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Mainly because obviously budget constraints. We don't have the IP, so we don't want to be doing that anyway. We don't have the time, budget, and we have so many limited resources to even think about making a feature film. So the idea was to make a 15-minute short film out of original moments in the film. So the hardest part was making a story from that because we don't want to just take clips and remake them because it just wouldn't make sense as a film. So we've added our own little moments, we've added our own little scenes. There's loads of different sections in there, originally written dialogue to make it flow as a 15-minute scene. So that was the hardest bit, 1,000,000%.
Nah, I rate that actually. It's a clever way of doing things, like you say, because just making feature length, like you said, at this point, it's going to be tricky. But I mean, after Littlefoot, then is there anything that you'd want to work on next? And I mean, depending on the reception of Littlefoot, is there a chance of further parts to it?
So, I mean, obviously, the big goal here is we would love to make a Land Before, like, we would love to make the Land Before Time. If Universal are there and waiting for a production company to speak out or a director to speak out, hey, I'm ready. I'm here. We're doing it right now. So let's just go.
Hmm.
Obviously, the goal as a crew and as all of us, individual crew members working together, if people love what we do here, the idea is to then focus all our efforts onto a feature film, animated feature film that we can all make together, hopefully get funding from the people that love Littlefoot and make a production company ourselves and do a original feature. That would be amazing. But obviously, the big goal here is to show Universal, show the world that Land Before Time is missed and is very important to people. And if Universal can just see, hey, so many people are talking about this Littlefoot film, so many people are wanting Land Before Time, let's just do it. Like that's the big goal here. You know what I mean? I should show the world that Littlefoot, Land Before Time really does mean something to a lot of people.
I don't even think it's that like far out of a likelihood, because obviously I've seen online the insane reception to the film, but
It's
then
been
also just
incredible.
when we've been talking about it in like the company group chats and stuff, it's like my co-host Izzy, she was like, I grew up on this. It's like, Gareth, the CEO, he'd seen it. It was
Really.
like, wow, like everyone sort of has a
We
connection to
we
this.
have
It's like,
had
how have they not taken
Honestly,
advantage?
we have had so many emails and comments talking about how much this film. I've cried 3 times. One because someone sent a video in, and it made me cry. Like he was talking about his nan and the last time we seen it, and it was just said thank you so much for bringing this back. 2 emails that I read were just so heartbreaking. Like oh my, people love this franchise. People love this character, and it does mean something to a lot of people. And like I don't know, man. I feel like Universal must have seen something on this. And hey, we're here. We're we're ready. If Universal go, hey, drop what you're doing, let's make a feature film. I'm like, hey, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's get. I'm ready. We've got a team ready to
Yeah,
do it.
there you go. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like the resources are there for him. And I mean, so just from your perspective, then, and again, I know a lot of people watching this will want to see the film already, but if you had to persuade people, why do you think people should watch this film?
People should watch this film because it's a passion project
Mm.
with very, very talented people attached. Like people are spending millions upon millions on films nowadays. What we're doing here is showing the world that we're making something so special to people in our bedrooms, in our living rooms, after work, after we've dropped the kids off. And no one's getting paid, no one's getting anything from this, but having the chance of just doing something cool. And I think that's the main thing I really want to tell people. It's like we are doing something a lot of people dream of, right? We got into this business because we just want to make cool, beautiful things. And this is that cool, beautiful thing. Like we every single one of us, every single one of us crew and cast are doing this because we love it. Like, and that's it. There's nothing else for us. Like, there genuinely is nothing else. It's just let's make something cool. Let's bring back something that means a lot to a lot of people, to us, and it's a beautiful story, right? Like, Land Before Time is one of the most beautiful stories ever told. And even if you don't want to watch the remake, even if you don't want to watch our reimagining, watch the original. The 2D animated film is one of the most incredible films ever. Even if people look at this and like, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch that, fine. Then watch the original because there's so many people I know of that haven't watched it. If I bring more eyes to the original film, I've done my job, right? Watch mine, fine, that's great. Watch the original, 100%. Just do it.
Mm. I
That's
think
what.
that sentiment you've got there really goes to show that you are just in this for the love of the creative side of it and the
I'm
love
just
of
here
the
to make cool
property.
stuff, right? It's just a beautiful film. It's for me, right? I'm being selfish. I want to see this film in a new light, in this new 3D landscape. I'm making it for me, and if people resonate with that, amazing. I'm making it for you guys as well. If not, just watch the original. The original is incredible.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome. As I say, I think that passion is just something really to be admired. And I mean, so out of everything you've done, and I can only imagine that this is probably going to derive from Littlefoot, but of your entire career so far, what would you say has been the most memorable moment?
Most memorable moment. So, two things. Number one is one of the most memorable moments for me, just because of my filmmaking and social media, is I got invited to the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 premiere.
I saw that.
One of the most incredible moments of my life. Being involved at the end of a celebration of a film. It's one of the most incredible experiences ever. Walking the red carpet with Jim Carrey next to me, Keanu Reeves, like just walking past, Idris Elba just chilling, like Ben Schwartz. It was one of the most coolest moments of my life. I wouldn't have got any. I wouldn't have got any of that if it wasn't for my filmmaking and social media. If it was something to do with my social media, it's always just creating something with friends. Like you can commercialize filmmaking so easily, and you can really make it into a job. One of my first films, Spider-Man: Lost Cause, and Spider-Man: Another World, we had so much fun just leaving uni, saying, "What scripts have we got today? Oh, let's just do this scene today. Let's figure it out." Oh, it was that there's nothing better than just creating something with friends, like being in the environment with really creative, beautiful people and creating something cool. Again, it's just amazing moments. Even with my new film, Never, we recently just did a shoot where so many of our friends just tagged along. Hey, like, do you want some BTS? Hey, do you want a hand? Yeah, come on down. And we just had this beautiful moment where all of us just work together to create something cool. Like it's always that's always my favorite moments.
I totally get that, and I want you to know that I'm not just saying that. Like genuinely, I know this is about you, but like I've been developing a cinematic universe with my friends since 2016, and it's been sort of the same people, but we gradually get more along. I've had like 70 odd of my friends be in it, and we've made like 20 odd films now.
There is
So
nothing better, right?
I totally get it. I
There is
totally get
nothing
it. It is
better.
the best. It is the best feeling in the world. Nothing comes second to it.
Yeah, and you can make
Because
it
it's
you can
like,
make it your job, right? You can make it your job.
mm,
You can then go to work, oh, I've had the worst director today. Oh, I've had the worst time running today. Or just make some cool stuff for your friends and maybe people watch it. Like honestly, I agree with you, man. Like there is nothing more magical in this world than just creating something with friends. Like creating memories, creating films, working in the edit suite till like 2 a.m., fighting over this line in the script. Like if you're working with beautiful, passionate people and people that are better than you as well, so you can learn things off them. Like what better life is there?
do you also sit watching the blooper reels and watching people laugh and
Oh,
stuff? Because like
that's my
that's
life.
one of my
That's my
favorite.
life.
Yeah, it's one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts of it all.
Yeah, man, 100%. That's it, man. It's just, There is nothing, there is absolutely nothing better. Like you can talk about the process of films as much as you want, but if you don't say I had the best times working with my friends, like what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm so there with you. I actually would argue I have never heard anything in an interview that I relate to more. It's like that is,
No, that's good.
I'm
That's
not
nice,
even
man. That's
joking.
nice.
No, it is. It's wonderful. I'm totally there with you. Going back to Littlefoot then, because like I do, I trailed off. What was sort of your main, obviously aside from The Land Before Time itself, what were your main inspirations, when directing the film?
I think my main inspiration was there's loads of little things that do inspire me to do stuff like this. But it's just I think it's just the story. And I think it was my little boy going, I don't want to watch a 2D film, Dad. You know, that for me, I was just like, oh, mate, but it's so good. It was like, yeah, I know, but it's old. And it's like, maybe I failed as a dad, maybe I failed as a father, or maybe it's a chance as a filmmaker to do something about it. You know, it's one of them, isn't it? And like, then I watched, and like, he went bad, he did this thing. Then I watched Land Before Time, and this was like, I don't know, 2018. I watched it, and I was like, oh, this film is just incredible. Then I messaged my friends going, guys, have you watched Land Before Time? Has anyone watched it? Not one person. And I was like, what? Huh? So I started making loads of social media videos about like you gotta watch Land Before Time, blah blah blah. Then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I can do something about this. And then that's where this passion came from, right? That's mostly it. And then obviously all these bad remakes coming out. It's just like maybe I can try and make a good one. That's
Break
basically
the
it.
mold a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's it.
and for a story like Littlefoot, then that obviously tackle like we mentioned, it tackles some really deep stuff, but it's also it's made in a medium that is centered
Hmm.
towards younger people.
Yeah.
How do you tackle like directing a film that is meant for a diverse range of ages? How do you sort of make sure it appeals to everyone?
I think that's a great question, mainly because it's a different one, right? Because I was a child when I watched this, and I'm an adult again, watching it again with the mindset of I used to watch this as a kid, but it's still maybe even more relevant to me nowadays. So it's one of them things where I think the original film answers that question already because it's not a kid's film, really, and it's not an adult film, really. It's right in the middle where anyone can watch it. And I think for me, I just need to make sure that these elements that makes the original stand out so much in that respect happens in my film. So we have that beautiful cartoony nature, we have that funny comedy, we have the moments of, quiet tension, we have that, moment of sincerity, moments that you have to like, stop your heart for a minute to cry your eyes out. Like as a kid, they're beautiful for you anyway, right? Because you might have what you might have lost a family member or someone that you love so dearly, and that moment really resonated with you, or you just felt for that moment because you never want it to happen to you. Like you gotta make sure that I mean, as a director and directing this film, we just gotta make sure that every single one of these little things the comedy, the beauty, the sadness is just handled with so much sincerity and heart that we can then, make sure that the adults and the kids both want to watch it, you know?
Humanity, isn't it? Everyone of every age has humanity, so I think appealing to
Yeah.
that's the most important thing,
I
right?
think the story is just so like diverse anyway. Like we've just made sure, even though there's like original moments in ours, like the original Land Before Time's obviously about, Littlefoot learning about grief and then finding these, different people from different walks of life to mold together to then journey to the Great Valley, where ours is about Littlefoot learning with grief and learning that strangers can also be family too. That's where our projects differ a lot. I'd say ours is very personal to that aspect of the film rather than the journey to the Great Valley because obviously we don't have the resources to even think about doing that. So we've really honed in what this film is about, and that's where we concluded.
Yeah. No, I mean, and what a strong thing to focus on as well. As someone who's clearly like fully British, whose family's Brazilian, it's like, I know all about,
I love
sort
that,
of
man. That's
finding.
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's pretty great. But no, obviously I know all about, sort of finding, your found family, I guess. And I think that's such a
That's exactly
strong,
it.
important thing to teach people. Because not everyone knows that they have that option. Not everyone knows that they
Yeah.
really have the ability to
And
say, oh, actually,
sometimes
these
it's
are my
exactly
people.
that's exactly that. And sometimes it's forced upon you and you don't want it per se. But I think one of the things that's really obviously I don't want to spoil the film, but Ducky is such an important character to the Land Before Time fandom, and we've made sure that she is the glue that holds the whole story together. And she has a beautiful moment that isn't in the original film that just spoke that speaks to people that don't want to be held, don't want these people. That she just tells Littlefoot, "Hey, look, we're here. No matter what, we're here." And that was just a moment I just really wanted to put in the film because it's something that people need. As much as I do, right? You see it all on social media nowadays. So many people are lonely. So many people don't feel like they have
Yeah.
something there. So if there's a film that just says, "Hey, I got you," that's all I'm there for.
No, we need stories like that. Absolutely. So, when choosing the crew for this specific production, then what qualities did you look for in all of like the performers and the team? What were you looking for in them?
So for the crew themselves, it's all about what they can bring to the project, right? Obviously, I can't be picky and choosy. I'm not paying anyone. I'm not. I can't. Beggars can't be choosers. But making sure this project can be as perfect as it can be. I've flicked through so many emails, so many comments of people asking to be a part of it. Obviously, everyone sends me a show reel, and if it's up to quality, of which again I can't be beggars can't be choosers, but I've got to make sure for myself and also the people watching it that the quality is near enough perfect. If it's not, $200 million Land Before Time remake quality, then we don't want it. Even though we're on a zero budget, it has to be perfect. Else, what's the point? So everyone that sent their show reel and every single person that is working on the film had the most fantastic, beautiful show reel. We've had people work on prehistoric. I'm a big fan of Walking with Dinosaurs, right? And I think it was one of the same teams that did a documentary for Apple TV. And someone from them are a part of that. We've got someone that worked on Despicable Me, like someone that
Shut
worked.
up!
Works. Yeah, yeah, no,
I am the Minion Man. I,
there
I
we
love
go.
Despicable. I have the world record in Minion Rush.
Do you really?
Yeah, no joke. That's my
The
entire
app,
online
the,
thing
the
is the Minion
phone, the
Rush
phone
game.
game.
Yeah, yeah. Don't even say that. I am like the guy of that.
That's
I
incredible.
just interviewed Agnes. Like my last
No
interview was
way.
Agnes as a voice actor.
Wow. Well, we have someone that did the animation for that. That's
Yeah, that's awesome. It was Secret Life of Pets. That's the one, right?
the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Secret Life of
There you
Pet.
go.
Secret Life of
Yeah,
Pet.
yeah. Because that was Illumination as well. That was the Despicable Me guys as well. I think.
Yeah, so I'm getting. He must have worked on that one as well then, because that it was. We've got such a fantastic team. Prehistoric Planet. That's the one.
There you
Prehistoric.
go.
There
There
we
you go. We
go.
got there in the end.
Yeah, I got that in
Nice.
there.
Right. So, look, to end off on one big question, then, like we always seem to do this. What would you say is your number one piece of advice for anyone that aspires to work in film production?
I said it before, but work with people better than you.
Hmm.
Every single time I'm on set, if everyone there isn't better, smarter than me, what am I learning? You know what I mean? Like if I'm directing and if I'm a better camera up than the person camera upping, and I'm just helping out or well, you know how if you work with people better than you, you're just gonna learn a lot more. You're gonna learn more rules. You're gonna learn more about the industry. You're gonna learn more about people. You're going to learn how they work, how true professionals work. If you don't work with people better than you, I genuinely say try to 100%. Just because it's just going to make you better as a director. It's going to make you better as a filmmaker. If you're editing a feature film and you're working under someone that's not as good as you, you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to stay exactly where you are. If you work with people better than you, you're just going to climb up the ranks. I think that's the best way of putting it. 100%. Work with people better than you. Always.
Nah, Joey, absolutely amazing advice there, honestly. So, I mean, look, that's everything we've got for you. I mean, thank you ever so much for the amazing chat. This has been incredible.
Jayden, I appreciate you.
Hey, no, thank you. I mean, I'm so excited for Littlefoot. I'll absolutely check it out when it's out, and I urge everyone at home to as well. So, yeah, Joey, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys at home next time.